Well, thank you, friend. Shabbat shalom and greetings to you all. It's so wonderful to see you. I hope you all got to enjoy the super blue blood moon the other night. One of nature's wonders. And just take a look around at the majesty and magnificence of just the sights you can see, never mind the ones you cannot. And tell me there is no God, or whatever else you want to call him, her, it. And while we marvel at the sights of our awesome universe, we let a rodent tell us whether spring is coming early or not. I love the genius of man. Now, friends, last week we observed International Holocaust Remembrance Day, always celebrated on the 27th of January, the day of the liberation of Auschwitz. Now, if you did not get a chance, then please light a candle in honor of the more than 6 million. You can light a candle anytime. It doesn't have to be, January 27th, but sometime during the course of your year, light a candle on behalf of all those who've died. And please God, never again. Now, friends, there are universal laws, which we get to see all around us all the time, and we saw some of them the other night with that fantastic, lunar display. And there's universal truths, and we are in search of those truths. The journey to the Promised Land is a journey to find those truths. Every religion, every spiritual system, every person is in search of them. Now, religions think they have them, but no one of them does. Ego gets in the way. And interestingly enough, there are 3 fascinating books of the Bible. There's more than 3, but 3 I'm thinking of. Iyov, the book of Job, Mishle, Proverbs, Tehillim, the Psalms, all read in special instances. And they're part of what is known as the wisdom literature of the Bible. And the acronym for those 3 books is Emet, which means truth. They are the books of truth. Wisdom and truth. And we're going to get an incredible insight into these this week. And I'd like to point out that the next holiday, almost a month away, but a few weeks, will be Purim, the Jewish Halloween, and it will fall on March the 1st, February 28th, March 1st. And we'll talk much more about it in the weeks ahead. It's another of the minor holidays, but one of the most fascinating and important. And it is a time that invites you to be whoever, whatever you can imagine. And that, my friends, a time for you to be free to be you, hey, that's another universal truth. Now, even though it's at the end of the month, we'll be hosting our new moon Shabbat observation for the change of the month in a couple of weeks on February the 16th, during which we will celebrate the new month, the Sabbath, Valentine's Day, the Chinese New Year, and Purim. And you are all welcome. Just let me know if you're coming. And just as it's a special time for celebration, let us take a moment now to celebrate as we come together in celebration. And celebrate as a like-minded group in a showing of faith. A continuing theme of ours, of love, of a community, a chavura, a fellowship, when we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov, Ubenai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Ubenai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. As a community, let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world, my friends. Now, I had a special pleasure of seeing a couple of great friends and teachers of mine the other day, always sharing their gifts, reminding me we all have gifts and how important it is to share our gifts with everybody. So let's once again help others the world over who suffer from mental, from physical, from emotional, from spiritual traumas, as we share the miracle of healing, of renewal. And let's gather and send prayers out to Ben, to Lindsay, to Jim, to Alex, to Chuck, to Bob, to Veronica and Aubrey, to dear sweet Cardinal and her beloved Igor, to Rosemary, and to whoever else you know who comes to mind to share energy and send healing, renewal to all. And of course, make sure you include yourself. You need renewal too. It is the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. And let's send some special prayers for Maria on the loss of her father, Michael Carmelo Pietrangelo. Baruch Dayan Ha'amet, blessed is the true judge. Me, Shaperach, Avoteinu, Makor HaBracha, Limotenu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed. The world over, friends, we all need renewal. Now this week, we get to spend some time with Moses' father-in-law, a fascinating character who deserves to be studied much more carefully, but gets lost in this parsha as we read Yitro, Jethro, although he does actually go by at least 3 other names in this book of names. Now the plagues are over. The sea is split, the people move on. And on the 3rd new moon from their leaving, they come to the mountain of God, and there is Jethro. And he reunites Moses with his wife and kids, a strange, hardly mentioned, never developed relationship, but which serves to show us why the Midrash, the what-if part of Judaism, is so important. There is so much left out in this book. The Midrash was the early rabbis' chance to say, what if this is why? And I encourage each of you to find a part of the Torah that strikes a chord within you. Write your own Midrash. What happened to precipitate what happened? Well, Jethro has some great ideas about judging, which Moses institutes, and they stay in place at least through the period of the judges. But this story is certainly out of order here. After all, it's pretty hard to interpret law that has not yet been given. Friends, the real highlight of this parsha, and the reason Jethro is overshadowed here, is the great epiphany, the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, spoken publicly by God to the 600,000 at the foot of the mountain, and we were all there. Now this, for many, is the true highlight of the book. Have no other gods, and no idols too. Don't misuse God's name, He's listening to you. Keep the Sabbath day, that's a special time. Be sure to honor Mom and Dad, let them know they're on your mind. Don't murder, lust, or steal. Have no false tales too. Don't envy anything. God's made this deal with you. Now, friends, the 10 Commandments are that easy. But at one point, the Bible may have been compiled of only 3 books: Genesis, Exodus, and Numbers. A beginning, a middle, and an end. A fall, a moment of truth, and a journey. Almost a return. Now, Leviticus was the priest's manual, and probably not meant for public consumption, and Deuteronomy was the likely lost book of the Torah, missing for hundreds of years. But all great stories are based on tension. And the tension is usually tied to choice. The hero faces a choice. Which way should they go? Who's influencing? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it the right choice, the wrong choice? What does it lead to? Another choice. Tension. And we have a hell of a story here. In the beginning, we saw the creation of the world and all mankind. And in the exploration of life, man pushes the boundaries of good, of bad, of decency, of depravity, and he falls. He succumbs to his fears, loses his wings and his ability to fly, and settles into an existence of suffering. missing and forgetting all the things he once knew. And then the time comes. A hero arises to free the people from their self-imposed doom and show them the road to freedom. They enter the road. They go to the mountain where God lives. And there, they're given the keys to life. 10 rules to follow. One's to teach them regarding their interactions in the universe. One's to teach them regarding their interactions on earth and their roots. One's regarding their interactions with each other. They then continue along the road, each learning to inculcate these rules, some recidivism along the way. Each finding his own land of opportunity, his own promised land. And it ends as it began, at a river, which when you cross, you are free. And until you do, you are not. And we are left guessing, hoping for the ending of happily ever after. But it's a personal choice. A story that ends without an ending. And here we are now, at the zenith, the climax of the story, the great epiphany. Now, an interesting thing about this story is it's not designed to make the man Moses the hero. See, Moses is every man. We never learn his real name. We do not know where he is buried. He is us. He is you. He is me. His life began, like this story, coming through the water, like all of us, with a name meaning true son or true child. And like all of us, opening his heart, his soul, to the words, to the essence, to the inspiration of a higher power. Seeing that putting ego aside and being part of a greater whole changes a life. And it is that simple. So what did the people standing on the mountain actually hear and see during that incredible pyrotechnic display? The Sinai encounter is imagined as the decisive moment in human history, when the celestial and terrestrial realms are brought into panoramic engagement, and as God comes down on the mountain, every sort of natural fireworks is let loose, so that trembling seizes not only the people, but the mountain itself. Exodus 18:1. And Mount Sinai was all smoke because the Lord came down on it in fire, and its smoke went up like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled. What a show that must have been, friends. Exodus 20:1. And God spoke all these words, saying. God speaks the words of the 10 Commandments aloud directly to the people. It is the only spiritual revelation in history given to everyone at the same time, and not to one individual to spread. It is the text of the covenant between God and Israel. Now, if you never read another part of the Bible, read Exodus 21. This moment in history was a life changer for every person on earth, for those who lived then, for those who live now. These rules are inherent in our souls and our genetic makeup. They are told in the present to you alone. And every time you read them, they come across to you alone. And they are so simple. There's someone in my body I could hardly see, invading my privacy, making my decisions for me, holding me back, not letting me stand, making me feel like a stranger in a strange land. But you changed my life, came along in a time of strife, in hunger and need. You made my heart bleed. You changed my life. God changed every life that day. Exodus 22. I am he who causes to be your God, who brought you out from the land of Egypt, from a house of slaves. Now, what an introduction this is. Not the creator of the universe, but the one who brought you out of confinement, out of slavery. And he begins, you shall not have other gods before my face. Now notice, this commandment only prohibits the worship of other deities, but does not deny their reality. You shall not make a statue, or any form that is in the skies above, or that is in the earth below, or that is in the water below the earth. Now, notice that the heavens above, the earth below, the waters beneath the earth. These are the three realms of the biblical world picture, each duly registered in the first creation story. You shall not bring up the name of the Lord your God for a falsehood, because God will not make one innocent who will bring up his name for a falsehood. Now, usually translated as the name of God in vain, this commandment means that one cannot make an oath in God's name and not fulfill it. Do not lie. Remember the Sabbath day to make it holy. Now, this sole ritual among the Ten Commandments connects the two principal aspects of the deity already invoked, the God of creation and the God of history. The observance of the Sabbath is a commemoration or a reenactment of God's creation of the world. At the same time, the liberation from labor on the seventh day, with the stipulation that one's male and female slaves should equally be freed of labor, would have brought to the mind of these newly freed slaves the blessings of freedom, of cessation from labor. Now, Jewish liturgy would pick up on this by designating the Sabbath as a remembrance of the going out from Egypt. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days will be extended on the land, and the land that the Lord your God is giving to you. Now, these are the roots of your life, your lineage, and the essence of male and female power. Now, all of these first half, they all had comments or reasons attached, but the rest don't. Why? And then you get the staccato form of them. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your fellow man. Boom, boom, boom. Now notice it does not say, do not kill. This was a very unfortunate King James Bible mistake. It does say do not murder. It is different. It is about the malicious intent. It is our intention, our kavanah, that matters in life, my friends. And be aware that ancient Israel was polygamous. Adultery in the Torah is simply defined as sex between a man and a married woman, but not between a single woman and a married man. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife or his servant or his maid or his ox or his ass or anything that your neighbor has. Now, this is a fascinating one that comes at the very end of the Ten Commandments. It's different. It commands regarding an emotional state. The formulation of these 10 commands is, in the most literal sense, lapidary, concise enough to be carved in stone, as Moses brought down the stone tablets. Now, there's a good deal of plausibility, then, that the wordier commandments here embody explanatory polishes or elaborations of the original, much more succinct formulations. So it might have gone like this. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods beside me. You shall make no carved likeness. Don't lie. Remember the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your fellow man. You shall not covet. And in Hebrew, it would have been even terser. Lo tirtzah, no murder. Lo tinaf, no adultery. Lo tignav, no steal. All short, quick. And friends, they're said in the second person singular. Not said to the collective you, but to the individual you. God spoke to you and you alone. Yes, the world's sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your feelings. Honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, we are a community, friends. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life, and tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy your journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all with a fantastic week, a week of life, of love, and light, and a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be a forgiving and compassionate person. The secret of forgiveness, my friends, of compassion and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people, the world, just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. Now remember, when you are present, you interact with life without trying to prove anything or push any agenda. And when you are present, you're aware of the vitality and aliveness that is both inside and outside of you. You are one with the universe. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Now act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. And may all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body, my friends. Expand your heart, quiet the mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, aware, present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're always forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. And love with the heart. We are all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And do not stop asking questions. Do not stop seeing miracles in your life. Continue to explore faith, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other bring more light into all of our lives. So we are all one, my friends, and we all continue to follow the light. He brought 10 little rules to live by, 10 little rules to know, 10 simple ways to lead your life each day, 10 little ways to reap what you sow, 10 ways to be a brother, 10 ways to be a friend, 10 ways to see how life ought to be, 10 ways to get where you need be in the end. Those 10 little rules are still with us. No matter the problem they can fix. But just count to 10 before you hit send. Little bit of faith and no politics. Wow, no politics. What will we do for TV? Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Get ready to celebrate freedom. Let's all learn to leave fear behind. Happy birthday, Nicola. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care, my friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.